So in my previous video, I talked about changing up the YouTube name, and finally the day has come. I kind of feel like it's been a long time coming because I've been looking to expand what I can upload on this channel. And you know, the name Raging Monkey, I feel like kind of held me back in a way. Like I said, I enjoyed the name. I thought it was funny, but it was something I made when I was 13 years old. I mean, the story behind it isn't much. Just I used to rage when I would play video games, and my favorite animal was a monkey. So I put two and two together, and that was my go-to for my username. If you've ever been in my streams or if you know me in real life, then you know that I'm a big racing fan, and I actually race myself a lot. And I've always wanted to kind of, I'm not sure if I wanted to do like some vlog style content or more like a documentary based video when it comes to racing, but I've always wanted to find a way to incorporate racing into my videos. I feel like having the name Raging Monkey kind of stops me from doing that, so the name is wiped. Every video that's been on my channel that's live right now is going to stay live. So if Raging Monkey's in the title, you'll hear me say it in some of my intros when I'm a kid. If you go way back, you can hear some of my cringy intros. But from here on out, it's going to be AirDoug. My name is actually Doug, and we're going to go over the video that gave me the name AirDoug. I mean, I guess kind of me and my friends came up with it ourselves. Nobody gave it to me. But today we're going to go over the incident that made AirDoug AirDoug. And I really feel like this is a good name for the channel because I can incorporate, gaming, streaming, and also racing into it. So it really broadens the content that I can create. July 11, 2020, this past summer, we showed up to Dominion Raceway, and I think we had two twin 60-lap races this night. We practiced well. I think we qualified third or fourth. It just felt like a normal night. And during the race, I could kind of tell that our car wasn't, as good as some of our competition. I think the two guys that were kind of whooping my ass in that race were Mike Looney and Peyton Sellers, and those are going to be the two cars you see in front of this video. And I almost knew that some luck was going to have to go my way if I was going to win this race. But the good thing about doing twin 60-lap races is that you have another race to regroup and then go back out there. You might have a little bit more tire. You might be able to make an adjustment to go out there and hopefully get a win in the second race. But I knew in this race I was going to need some luck, and I got the complete opposite thing of luck. Now, before we get into this video, I want to provide a little bit of backstory as to where this drama kind of started. And I would say it probably started back in 2017. And I would think my biggest rival I've ever had racing is Tyler Hughes. Me and Tyler Hughes have had a ton of incidents, more than you can count on two hands. And that's a lot when you're dealing with expensive race cars and you race maybe 20 times a year. But a lot of it stems from the fact that, we've always been in the top 2 or 3 cars at Dominion Raceway, and we've raced head-to-head for multiple championships. When you're running up front, stuff is just bound to happen. I want to win. He wants to win. He wants to win for his team. I want to win for my team and my family. Now, in my opinion, I feel like Tyler has done a lot more to me than I've ever done to him. There's actually been some stuff where he had his backup car wrecking me. I'll show some of that footage now. He pretty much just stops in front of me going off into the corner. The backup car is actually his car owner too. I mean, I guess if you got the money, it doesn't matter how much equipment you tear up. Now, actually, in the first race of 2020, I won, and the same deal happened. His lap car literally chopped down across me on the front stretch, ripped the right front off, and almost knocked me out of the race. Luckily, the race ended on a caution. I still won the race. We raced head-to-head in 2017 and 2019 in the championship. I actually won both of them. And 2020, it was looking like it was going to be the same deal. It was going to be us two and Peyton Sellers because South Boston shut down. It was a new year. I was excited, and then we come out in the first race, and the same thing happens. Honestly, before this race, I think we were on good terms. I think we had moved past what happened in the first race. It was kind of one of them things where I just shook it off. Didn't want to carry it on to the next race. Now, we had actually talked before the race on this night, and it was just some casual conversation. I don't remember what it was about, but I know it wasn't let's go wreck each other. It wasn't something like that. But anyway, that's kind of the backstory on mine and Tyler's relationship. Now, I don't mind Tyler as a person. I think he's a good guy, but I think he doesn't have his head screwed on whenever he's inside of a race car. So now this angle, I haven't ever actually seen it on social media. The only time I've ever seen it is that one of the track photographers sent it to me. Let's just watch it through, and we'll go through the wreck. That's a total race car right there. That's a lot of money down the drain. Everything on that car was destroyed. Everything. It was a completely toast race car. The only thing I took out of that race car was the gear that I had on. Even the steering wheel was bent. Now you might be wondering, how does this race you know, play into the name AirDoug and where it came from, and we'll get to that shortly. I just want to kind of walk through the video a little bit before we actually get into the AirDoug situation. Now, I haven't heard this from Tyler directly. I actually haven't spoken to Tyler since this night, but from what other people have told me, I came up into him, and this video shows that I didn't come up into anyone. The 97 got into him, turned him down the track. He then gets hooked by the 28, and if you stop it right here, how on earth does a car that's sideways make up an entire car length to get to me? And that's why I still think to this day that Tyler was toast, and he just decided to take me with him. I'm not really sure anything that anyone, or even if he said it, would ever change my mind of that. A lot of people think the same thing too, unless you look on social media and you have his like white nuts, then they're not going to say the same thing. But I mean, you watch it, it's a hard lick into the wall. Like Dominion's walls might be the hardest walls you can hit in racing. I don't know many facilities outside of short tracks and, you know, the bigger NASCAR tracks, but I know the bigger NASCAR tracks have safer barriers. Not too many tracks you race at have 2.5 foot thick concrete barriers. You might as well get rocked by Mike Tyson if you touch these walls. So, you know, we go from full speed to a full stop in a matter of seconds, because he hit me on entry. I wasn't even like fully slowed down for the corner yet. I was hit, the rear end got knocked off the ground, and I was in the wall, you know, before I could even think. Like, it wasn't something I could even react to. So I was in the car, kind of shook up. I wasn't even sure exactly what happened, because it all happened so fast. I had nobody inside of me, and then before you knew it, I was in the wall with a totaled race car. And someone came over the radio asking me if I was alright. I was like, I'm not sure. My knees kind of banged off the steering column, and I actually had like a dead leg in my left leg. Then my spotter comes over the radio, fucking 8-car wrecked us again. And I look up, and through my windshield, I see this guy that is torn up more equipment of mine than I've ever torn up of anybody else's in my entire career. And, you know, I lost it. I was so tired of being pushed around by this guy and his team. They're always doing stupid shit, always taking cheap shots at me. And I was tired of it. So that's when this video takes place.
Got that thing. Get him! Get him! From his 11th starting position is now third, and obviously, Barnes gets out of his car and wants to jump up on the hood of Tyler Hughes' car.
And looking back on it, I'm not sure exactly what I thought I was going to accomplish by doing this. And I wanted to fight, but he had people in his window, so that wasn't going to happen. So I was already along the top of the wall, and I pretty much jumped over the official, and I was like fucking full send, did a cannonball into the windshield. I barely even bent the brace, because I don't weigh more than 160. And then I hit it, and some guy drugged me off the car. Another guy was having me in a headlock, but obviously, I mean, I had a helmet and everything on, so it's not like I was losing any airflow. And that's where the AirDoug situation came from. Now, there's a lot more to it. So if you take this screen cap, this is me at the peak of my jump, and this is where the AirDoug logo came from. Then, you know, I honestly don't think this could have happened on a better night. Like, the interactions were insane. It was the first time that they had allowed fans back since COVID. And you know it's NASCAR, so social distancing wasn't really a thing. The place was, I swear it was sold out. Like, I haven't seen that many people there since opening night 2016. The crowd was going nuts, and then, you know, after this happened, some guy walks onto the track and he starts running his mouth at me. Here's this video. I don't know what this dumb fucker was saying, but I just remember everybody in the infield was just yelling at me, calling me a piece of shit, because pretty much down there, that's like Tyler Hughes' people. So, you know, I was catching an earful, and the entire time, I never really thought that I was in the wrong. But the problem is that I was really far away from my crew. So, you know, if a fight would have broke out, I would have been pretty much all by myself. You know, the way Dominion Raceway is that you got, you know, turn 1 and 2 and turn 3 and 4, and I'm down in turns 3 and 4, so that's probably at least a tenth, maybe a tenth and a half of a mile away. I had to walk all the way back to my pit. Like I said, I had banged up my knee. I had a dead leg, and that went away when I got out of my car and I jumped onto Tyler's car. So now I'm walking back to my pits, and finally somebody from my team, Stevie, walks up to me. He's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." And nobody from my team even knew what happened because you couldn't see from down there. And as I'm walking, people are still calling me names behind me and stuff. And I'm like, man, I cannot limp right now. My legs started coming back. The pain started coming back. I'm like, don't start limping in front of all these people. So I get back to my pit and my phone was blowing up. An insane amount of social media interactions that I don't normally get. And then someone sends me a video off of Race 22's Facebook page. And within the first 15 minutes, before I even got back to my pits, it had 5,000 views on Facebook. And, you know, looking back on it, the initial reaction, everybody thought it was funny. And then kind of like as the hours went on, people were like, oh, you know, this guy's a piece of shit. And something came out that Tyler was hurt inside the race car and he did have a concussion. And they're like, he had to get rushed to the hospital. But from what I've heard, that never happened. Tyler was at the racetrack for another couple hours before he ever went anywhere. And I've also heard stories from he didn't even go to the doctors until the next day. And he wasn't rushed there in some ambulance or anything like that. But like I said, I'm just speculating. I don't know exactly what happened because I've never talked to him since this incident. Even if that's true in my eyes, I did nothing to do anything to this guy after that. You know, he caused the wreck. He hurt himself. And then me jumping onto the windshield and bouncing off of it did absolutely nothing to, you know, do anything to him. So I actually texted him that night and I kind of wished him well. I'm like, you know, we'll keep our racetrack stuff on the track and, you know, I hope you're doing fine. Like, I hope you're not hurt. But this video was really just blowing up. Like, my social media interactions were insane. I was getting so many followers on Twitter. I was getting so much hate. One from this pussy Myatt Snyder that's in the Xfinity series. This man came at me, and me and him, I'm not even sure if we've ever actually raced together. I know we ran legend cars at the same time in the shootout, but I'm pretty sure he was in a different division than me. So him talking about me being a dirty driver, I'm not sure where that came from. Now, he didn't actually call me a dirty driver. I got that wrong. I wasn't looking at the tweet. He said, good to see some drivers never change. But this dude doesn't know who I am. He doesn't know who I am. Like I said, I'm not sure if we've ever raced together. I've never had a conversation with this guy. Now, Myatt Snyder is the definition of what's wrong with NASCAR. This guy is only in NASCAR because of his last name. It's like that in a lot of cases with so many drivers up there. A lot of the up-and-coming drivers are all just, you know, some has-been son. Or, you know, somebody that just has a ton of money. And that's how NASCAR works, and that's why it's fucking terrible. Get there off of your money and not skill. Now, obviously, you can't be completely shit if you're going to run up top. And I'm not saying he's a horrible driver, but I'm just saying he would not be there if he did not have the last name that he has. So I'm not sure why he really felt the need to comment and ask for my permaban. Because, like I said, this guy doesn't know me. And your outreach did nothing, Myatt. Like, you got nothing. I stayed at the track, and then we won a couple races later. Now, Myatt seems like the exact type of person that would say something like this on social media and never have any sort of confrontation in person. So anyway, he actually said something about like my tweets because I went on a social media rant. I don't have them anymore because I was advised to delete them. In one of the tweets, I talked about selling AirDoug t-shirts. And I was never kidding about this at all. I was never joking about this. People said that I was a pussy because it was taking so long, and they're like, oh, he's not actually going to do it. We did it. We actually did it. They've been around for months. It just took so long that, you know, after the incident was over, I just decided not to sell them. So if, you know, a fan walked up at the trailer or something like that, I'd give them a shirt. I gave it to some of my friends. So we made the shirts, and now that I think about it, I actually meant to send Myatt a shirt, but I completely forgot about it until actually recording this video. NASCAR actually stepped in, and they suspended me for a month, gave me a $1,000 fine, and a year's worth of probation. And a lot of people were happy with this, and I really wish that we would have raced like during that time frame to like kind of prove what I was saying, but I got unsuspended. Like, I appealed it, and I won the appeal, and winning a NASCAR appeal is not a common thing. And pretty much what I told them, I'm like, you know, it's just a heat of the moment thing. I'm tired of this guy running me over. I was like, you know, we'll just steer clear, try and steer clear. I've been trying to do it for a long time, but we'll just, you know, try extra hard now. So we showed up testing the next week, and I didn't think the car was to the point where we had a winning car. I didn't want to run out there and just ride around for 100 some laps. So we packed it up and went home. And then the next week was the Cars Tour race, and I was going to run the Cars Tour race. And then I was kind of advised, like, you know, it might not be the best idea. You have no race experience. It's a different shock package in the Cars Tour. It's not something you want to go do. It's like if you are off a little bit in the Cars Tour, you're going to be 15th. If I'm off a little bit at Dominion, I'm going to be like 5th. So then the next week it rained out. So then I didn't race the entire month. So I almost shouldn't have even appealed my suspension at all, because basically what happened when I won, I just got the probation extended to like the end of 2021 instead of the end of 2020. I still had the $1,000 fine, but they removed my suspension. But looking back on it, I shouldn't have even done that because I didn't even get the race. Now, during the appeal, NASCAR brought up that this event had gotten 2 to 3 million impressions across all social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I think the biggest ones are like right here that I'm showing on screen. One had like 300,000, another one had like close to 70. And I actually couldn't find many of the other ones. I don't know if they've been taken down or what. A lot of people were also making videos on like TikTok with it, and it was getting a ton of views. I think my favorite one is probably this guy, Randy the Plumber.
Now this is a no shit moment. Oh shit! What the fuck just happened? This guy's dragging him to the ground. Look at these two guys showing up. Look at this form right here. Look at the
I did have perfect form.
He's cannonballing into a fucking pool, but yet he's doing it into the fucking windshield. Watch him. Here he goes. Good boys. Cannonball, motherfucker. And he bounces off that son of a bitch. NASCAR windshield will handle impacts to 200 miles an hour. What's your little 3-mile-per-hour ass gonna do? And then this guy jumps on his ass and just clobbers him and then drags him to the damn ground. Somebody's about to get their ass beat. Oh shit!
I like to think I was moving a little bit more than 3 miles per hour. So that's pretty much the entire AirDoug situation. Now there's only one more thing that I want to show before we end the video. And at the end of the year, there's a big race. It's called the Big One. And it's for $10,000 to win. And we had been racing, like, I think we had 6 or 7 races prior to this, and we had a chance to win every single one of them. And, you know, some luck fell through and, you know, got roughed up a few times, and we just didn't wind up winning. Now, it's a 200-lap race. It's a long race. I feel like we did a really good job conserving our stuff during this race, and it actually came down to me versus Peyton Sellers. And Peyton is probably one of the drivers I respect the most out of everybody. I feel like I've learned a lot racing against him. So we actually won this race. And it was the first time that we'd won since the start of the season. We flew the AirDoug flag at the end of the race instead of the checkered flag. So it was nice to, you know, put like a stamp on the season and end it that way. I just wanted to make this video as an update, you know, for the channel, because it's a pretty big update. We're changing the entire name. And now y'all know where the AirDoug name came from. I plan on bringing some racing content to the channel. I'm not sure what yet, but we're definitely going to do something. If you guys go over to my Twitch, the name's going to be changed to AirDoug now, and we're going to be streaming almost every single day over there. Hopefully I'll see you guys in a stream. You can check out all of my personal social medias below. So I know there's a lot of people that don't know my personal social medias that I've known for a long time just through doing this. So I'm excited for a new era of my YouTube channel. And now keep in mind, if you know me in real life, that I'm not only going to be doing racing videos, I'm going to stick to the same content that I've been doing for a long time. I'm just going to add racing content to that. So, you know, it might not be stuff that you're exactly interested in. I'm pretty passionate when it comes to games and stuff like that, because what I like to do is what I've done for a long time. So I'm kind of rambling on now. This recording's been going on for a long time. I'm not sure when my next upload's going to be. It's probably going to be sometime next week. But I'm just excited to be back. I hope everyone has a great day. I'll see you guys in the next video.